Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are in the Starfinder core rulebook. We're continuing the different races you can pick from. The race we're looking at is the shirrans. And they look like bug people. Okay, so without further ado, let's see all the game mechanics and the fluff that is all with the shirrans for Starfinder. Right off the bat, it looks like you get a +2 to your Constitution and your Wisdom, and a -2 to your Charisma, and you start with 6 hit points from your race. Once part of a ravenous hive of locust-like predators, the insectile shirrans only recently broke with their hive mind and became a race of telepaths, physically addicted to their own individualism, yet dedicated to the idea of community and harmony with other races. Size and type. Shirrans are medium humanoid with the shirran subtype. Blind sense. Shirrans' sensitive antennae grant them blind sense, vibration, the ability to sense vibrations in the air out to 30 feet. A shirran ignores the stealth bonus from any form of visual camouflage, invisibility, and the like when attempting a perception check opposed by a creature's stealth check. Even on a successful perception check, any foe that can't be seen still has total concealment, 50% mischance, against a shirran. And a shirran still has the normal mischance when attacking foes that have concealment. A shirran is still flat-footed against attacks from creatures it can't see. Communalism. Shirrans are used to working with others as part of a team. Once per day, as long as an ally is within 10 feet, a shirran can roll a single attack roll or skill check twice and take the higher result. Culture fascination. Shirrans are eager to learn about new cultures and society. Shirrans receive a +2 racial bonus on culture and diplomacy checks. Limited telepathy. Shirrans can communicate telepathically with any creature within 30 feet with whom they share a language. Conversing telepathically with multiple creatures simultaneously is just as difficult as listening to multiple people speak. Playing a shirran, you likely cherish your independence, and while eager to help the group, you despise coercion and entrapment. You abhor violence and act as a voice of reason, compassion, and community even when tempers flare. Take deep emotional and physical pleasure in simple, mundane choices that establish your individuality. Are fascinated by religion and see your choice of God as a reflection of your personality. Other races probably find you physiology and use of telepathy disconcerting. Appreciate your bravery, logic, and diplomacy, even if your conclusions are not always convenient. Don't understand your definition of freedom or your seemingly disproportionate delight over small choices. Worry that you might return to predatory, swarm-dominated ways at any time. Now, let's dive into the fluff. Physical description. Shirrans were once part of a swarm, a monstrous race traveling from world to world, consuming all they encountered before moving on. Generations ago, however, a mysterious mutation caused an entire subcolony to break from the hive mind, with each of its members gaining a sense of self. Addicted to the new drug of individualism, these renegades rejected the swarm's mindless consumption, forming a new race called the shirrans that eventually come to settle within the packed world systems. Shirrans are arthropods with chitinous exoskeletons, large compound eyes, and sensitive antennae. Unlike many anthropian races, they walk upright, manipulating items with 3 clawed hands. In addition to their 2 sets of main limbs, they also have 2 sets of smaller limbs growing from their thorax. While often displayed These mating arms are extremely weak and used only for ceremonial and reproductive purposes. To use them for mundane activities would be seen as grotesque and shameful. Shirrans have three sexes: male, female, and host. During reproduction, female and male shirrans provide the initial eggs and sperm, and the host incubates and fertilizes the eggs, while also adding to their own genetic material and immunities. In some shirran societies, a single host queen incubates for many partners and is considered the true parent, while in others, three-party marriages are common. Shirrans' young spend their first 2 years in a tiny worm-like larvae form, and they are often carried around in protective containers to let them safely observe the world. Homeworld. Not even shirrans know where the swarm first evolved, for its vast biological colony fleet has traveled the stars for ages and feels no need to keep track of such things. After splitting from the swarm, the newly self-aware shirrans scattered to a number of nearby systems. A large contingent found its way to the packed worlds, making first contact with Versite Aethership's crews, and setting up a colony in Vercess's parched Fulbright region. Since then, shirrans have spread throughout the packed worlds. Society and alignment. Shirrans define themselves by their individualism. When they left the swarm, they assumed partial control over the neurological pleasure and pain system by which they were formerly directed, and even generations later, making choices for themselves can literally flood them with pleasurable neurotransmitters. While this ability is not always beneficial, some shirrans deliberately drug themselves this way, becoming option junkies, blissed out of a sequence of trivial decisions. Freedom of choice is crucial to shirran identity. This is especially true with regard to religion, for what choice is more important than how to spend the afterlife? At the same time, having evolved from hive creatures, shirrans remain highly communal by human standards. Even when working with other races, they seek to foster community and teamwork and do what's best for the group. They are often lawful good, though loyalty and utilitarian emphasis on the greater good can also lead them down questionable paths. Relations. Most of the common races find shirrans agreeable and useful allies, though their telepathic communication and sharing mouthparts can be disconcerting. Shirrans, for their part, are positively inclined towards all the major races, especially Isuki, for their communal tendencies and zest for life. Though Lashuntas often maintain their prejudice against insectile races, most shirrans don't hold this against them, as they themselves fear nothing more than the swarm that spawned them. Adventurers. Less inclined towards violence than many races, shirrans often sign on with starship crews as ambassadors, medics, technicians, and other such non-combat roles, especially as mystic acting as ship chaplains. They adore working as part of a team and are often voices of reason in chaotic situations. This general friendliness should not be mistaken for weakness. However, as shirrans, fighting for the lives of their comrades can be terrifyingly lethal, fearlessly undertaking suicidal missions for the good of the group. Names. Shirrans rely primarily on telepathy for communication, speaking audibly with their mandibles only in formal situations. Because of their insectile physiology, their speech names can sometimes be harsh and awkward for members of other races to pronounce. Fortunately, they rarely accept nicknames bestowed by members of other races, seeing such epithets as honors. Most also have a secret soul name that's purely telepathic, a concentrated collage of memories, images, and sense memories that shared only with their dearest friends. Some shirrans' speech names include Keska, Halicon, Jaguk, Kescodia, Korskull, Noskara, Shech, Thast, Tassin, Vishkesh, Zilit, and Zinka. So, shirrans seem interesting. I would probably play one. I don't see me playing one as a fighter type character as much, but if I went that route, it could probably work that good that way too. The fact that they have a -2 on charisma and they like to be diplomats is hilarious to me. I could see it working, it's just hilarious. Just like in D&D or in Pathfinder, just like an orc sorcerer is hilarious, since they tend to have a penalty to charisma, and it's fun. Well, let me know what you think about this race. I'm pretty sure that there's 2 more races to go over, and then we'll be done with this section of Starfinder, and we can move on to classes. Until we all game again, guys.